first of all, let's plug the tour you've got coming up. It's in June, and yeah, you're going to be playing, all the capital cities in Australia, and I'm from Brisbane, so you're playing the Tivoli. Are you looking forward to it? And secondly, what songs can we expect on the set list?
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I mean, Australia is definitely one of the favorite countries that this band really loves to travel and go, and play. Not just play, but just the culture, the vibe, the people, doing certain things, going to the beautiful beaches, trying to avoid the sharks, go hiking. I mean, we've done a lot of things there, and, we love it there. And as far as the songs, what you can expect is definitely a collection of all the best Fear Factory songs, from all our records. We have such a big catalog that, it's hard to pick, all the songs. There might be a song or two left out that people might be a little bummed about, but, we try to pick as many songs as we possibly can and, cram it into the time slot that we do get. We also are doing songs, showcasing songs off our new record, Genexus. So you're going to hear a few songs from that album as well.
Yeah, I really like Genexus. It's a great album. How have the fans been, taking to the new songs so far?
So far, it's been enormously great. I mean, worldwide so far, from where we've played these songs, the response has been amazing. Soul Hacker is a really big song. It's got a huge groove to it, and people just seem to latch onto it and want to move the minute they hear that opening riff, and then Bert shouting, the first lyric. Dielectric goes over really well. Regenerate goes over really well. Proto-Mech, all those songs that we played live so far have been amazing. People seem to really love it, and it fits really well into our set.
Yeah. On a different note, you actually played on an album, and when I was in high school, it was literally the most listened to album. Like, it was always in my CD player constantly, and that album was Roadrunner United. And I don't know if the album actually did too well, but it was a big deal at the time. You had, every great from, Max Cavalera, Trivium, all on one album, Machine Head. Just reflecting on that album, what was it like recording with all those guys, and would you ever do something like that again?
I would love to do something like that again, because it was so much fun. I mean, it took about a year to make that whole record, because everybody had to, it was everybody had different schedules. So you had to work around people's schedules. But when we did get together, it was so much fun, and it was so much creativity going on in the studio. It was like, wow, this was amazing. I wish that, sometimes I wish it was a band. I wish we could make a band out of that.
Yeah.
But it did pretty well. It did fairly well. The first single was called The End. That was a video single, and that was one of my songs, and I got lucky with that one, and the label chose it to be, the single. But it was so much fun, and I wish I could do something like that again, for sure,
Yeah, and you did a live performance, and the cool thing about the live performance is you're all playing each other's songs, so you're sort of like the backing guitarist for most of the songs, and you're doing Slipknot songs, and I think there was some, maybe Madball songs and stuff on it as well. What was it like covering those songs, and were you nervous about, doing the songs justice?
I wasn't nervous about doing the songs justice, because most of the guys who wrote the songs I was playing with. You know what I mean? So I wasn't nervous. I mean, they're all my friends, and we were just having a good time. If you messed up, you messed up. If you didn't mess up, great. Nobody really seemed to care. Everybody was having a great time. Me and Andreas Kisser from Sepultura were the two guys who played on the most songs, but he actually beat me by he played on one more song than I did. I think I played on 18. I played 18 songs. I think he played 19. So.
Yeah. Well, you've got to memorize, all the Fear Factory songs. You've got to memorize all the Divine Heresy songs, and then to memorize, another 18 songs. How do you remember all those songs? It must be crazy. I know a few guitarists, but after a while, I'm like, memory's full.
Well, the reason why it wasn't hard to memorize those songs is because I listened to those songs. I mean, I grew up with those songs. I was fans of those bands, Sepultura, Machine Head, Type O Negative, all that Life of Agony. I was a fan of all that music, so I've heard those songs all the time, over and over in my head. So before I even, try to learn them or, learn them from the live show. So I already knew the songs. And so it wasn't hard to remember them or it wasn't hard to play them.
Yeah. When most musicians are growing up, they normally find like one guitarist that they love and they'll start covering all their songs and then writing their own songs. For you, who was the guitarist that you tried to emulate when you were growing up?
Well, there was a lot for me. I was all over the place. I mean, when I was like a very, very young kid, like in my, from 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, for a few years, it was all about Angus Young. So Angus Young was that one guy. And AC/DC wasn't hard to learn the songs. And it was like, that wasn't the first band that I started getting into and started trying to, emulate and try to play his rhythms. But then obviously it progressed from there, from, Eddie Van Halen to Def Leppard to Metallica. Then it got heavier to Slayer. And then, I started appreciating all those guitar players, from Judas Priest, and I started learning all their riffs. Iron Maiden, I started learning all their riffs, and I was like, wow, it's just like my mind opened up, and I just started learning all those different songs. And I used to just sit in my bedroom and put on an album. Like when Slayer Rain and Blood came on, that record came out, I just put that record on, and I play it from front to back. I learned it, the whole record. And that was my go-to record. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, it's still my go-to record.
Yeah, I always had a lot of fun playing that. And sometimes when I do like rock and roll karaoke where like people, there's a live band and somebody comes up and sings, like I'll go up there and play. Like I say, look, the only songs I'll do is Slayer, so I'll pick up one of the songs off the Rain and Blood record. Of course, Angel of Death. I'll play that, and people will have to sing it, and so it's fun.
I think Fear Factory, in a way, you've kind of become one of those bands that you definitely stick to your guns. Like, you always know what the new album's going to sound like, and that's not a bad thing, and I love it that you stick to your guns. Do you ever, think about doing, a big change in sound, or are you just going to, keep doing what you do and just improving on the sound? Do those discussions come up very often?
We've always been a band that has never been afraid to experiment. When we first came out, there wasn't a lot of bands there wasn't any bands that were doing melodic vocals with heavy vocals. When we first came out, we were like industrial meets like grindcore, death metal, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
We were a pretty extreme band. And in that genre of music, there wasn't a lot of people doing that. So, we did get a lot of slack for it, but we never gave up on it. We actually improved on it and got better with songs like Demanufacture, obviously albums like Demanufacture. But before that, we did an EP called Fear is the Mind Killer, where we put industrial dance music with the brutal sounds of Fear Factory. That was something new. So we definitely pushed our way in there and kind of forced people to like music, to like, Fear Factory, I guess, in a way. But as far as like pushing the envelope, we try to, push as much as we can every record. But sometimes if you go too far, you might alienate your fan base and people might not like it. I can see us putting out an acoustic record, or singing, Replica acoustically or Resurrection acoustically. I could see us doing that. But as far as like the remixes or making it more dancey or techno, we've already done all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So right now, it's just more focused on the best parts of Fear Factory, and that's what we did when we worked on Genexus. We're like, okay, what are we going to do that's going to, be fresh, stay modern, and basically all we did is like, okay, let's just write good songs. Let's not worry about changing our sound or trying to make something, too new. We just wanted to be, let's write great songs. We are who we are. We have our sound. We have our signature sound. Let's just write some good songs, and that's what we did.
Yeah, for sure, man. I love all the stuff. Just so many albums now. I think you're up to like album 12, and like really hasn't been any low moments in the band. So it's definitely some great consistency going on. Another band.
Yeah. For me, it's my ninth album with Fear Factory. Since I've been Fear Factory, it's my ninth.
Yeah. Did you ever listen to the albums that you didn't play on, or did you pay much attention to them?
Yeah, of course. I listened to them because I had to learn some of the songs so we can play them live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I listened to
them. Is Divine Heresy, is that band still going? I saw you guys play at Soundwave a few years ago. That was a really cool show.
Yeah, it was a really, really good band. Yes, it's one of my bands. It is and it isn't. I mean, I'm doing Fear Factory. That's my main focus right now. So whenever I get time, I will continue to do Divine Heresy. Hopefully I'll get time in the near future so I can complete the album.
Yeah. One of the big things that's happening at the moment, and we see it all the time in Australia because I think Australia really loves America. We always hear about the US elections, and it seems like such a big deal. And it's funny because over there the campaign lasts like a year or something, and in Australia it's literally like a month in and out. It's done. You going to vote for anyone over there? Do you like any of the politicians running?
I do. The closest thing I like is Bernie. I can't even say his name. Bernie Sanders?
Bernie Sanders, yeah. Yeah, he seems cool.
Yeah. Well, I had a brain fart there for a second. You know why? Because I was thinking about all the stuff that just, we have a kook running for president. We have Donald Trump. And if Donald Trump actually gets elected, I'm moving to Australia.
Well, you're welcome to come stay here, man. Not that our politicians are much better, but I'm sure they're better than Donald Trump.
If he is elected president, we're going to have a lot of issues in America. He's already getting death threats. I don't know if you know that. They just arrested some guy who sent him a death threat on Facebook like an idiot.
A part of me wants him to get in just because I want to see just how fucking stupid and ridiculous it gets, but then I'm like, no, you don't really want it to happen. It's not a movie. No. But it would be entertaining if it wasn't real.
Why do you wish something bad on Americans? That's not good.
No, I was just kidding.
I mean, because who knows what's going to happen. I mean, he doesn't like Muslims, he doesn't like Mexicans, he doesn't like the foreigners, blah, 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 blah. It's just going to cause a war. It's going to cause a lot of tensions between Americans and other parts of the country. It's going to make it worse. He's definitely going to get death threats in America. I mean, someone's going to try to assassinate him here. I'm surprised that that's just the first one that came out. There might be a bunch of other ones already, so that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, it's scary times. Anyway, I think I'm just up to 15 minutes, and I got told you got a bunch of interviews. I probably should let you go now in case there's like someone trying to call you right now.
Okay, well, just to put it into the interview is that we are completely excited to come down to Australia. We can't wait. It's going to be a great show, and you're going to hear all the classic Fear Factory songs plus the new ones. And, if you're not familiar with Fear Factory, you could start with Demanufacture and then get the new one, Genexus, and then go somewhere in between all that. So you better get caught up if you're not.
Yeah, awesome, man. I've listened to pretty much all of your albums, so I'm pretty up to date.
Not necessarily you. I'm saying that to whoever reads the interview, they need to get caught up. They're going to come to the Fear Factory show.
Cool as. Well, I'll also be taking photos at the show as well, so I'll be able to send those through on Facebook or Instagram or whatever if you want a copy of them.
All right, man. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Okay, no worries, Dino. We'll enjoy your interviews.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.